Okay, here's Uncle Moe and Aunt Myrna. And
Yeah.
so, Moe, tell us a story.
Okay. Well, one thing that Brother John, your dad,
Mm-hmm.
was very proud of was he could adjust the Delco plant to where it would run until it quit. And the Delco plant was a generator, a gasoline generator, that we had the lights on the farm for in the house and in the barn. And but it was awful hard to start from time to time. You had to crank it, and sometimes you'd crank for a half hour. Some of them would run. Sometimes it wouldn't. Until he eventually got mad enough that he threw the crank into the flywheel of the Delco plant and broke the flywheel. Then it was nothing but something to look at as you went out the door with a kerosene lamp or gas lamp or whatever you had, but it sure as hell wasn't electric. And that's the kind of a feller he was.
Oh.
And he just kind of moved out and went to town after that. He was getting out of high school, and that's when he left the farm and went to the radio station in Fargo.
He never came back.
And never came back to stay at the farm.
He stayed in town with...
He stayed, he did a little radio work with KOBC Valley City. And then went to Fargo WDIA, and then to Minneapolis.
What did he do on the radio?
It was a morning show, music show.
So he play or sing or?
Sang.
He sang on the radio.
Oh yeah. And then he got a job singing in Minneapolis at the Anglesey Cafe.
What cafe?
Anglesey, ANGLGELICE.
Huh. Well, I remember him saying he would sing in the bars on Saturday night and in church on Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And there was more ministry in the bar because
Yes.
those are the people who needed it.
Yes, that's exactly
That's right? Okay.
That's him.
And that was that Anglesey
Anglesey.
Cafe. Okay.
Yeah.
I never
and
knew the name.
then he went to Chicago
Mm-hmm.
and got hooked up with, I don't know. I used to remember those names, and I don't remember the names anymore. But that's how he landed in Chicago and stayed in Chicago. And in the end, became a hell of a politician.
Yep.
They kind of took care of their own in Chicago back in them days. I think it kind of blew apart.
Okay.
It seemed to me like they never followed the rules of the predecessors. It eventually got to where it was ironed out one time, the next thing you could never tell who was who,
In terms of the politicians.
And yeah, who were the politicians, who were the crooks. And it's somewhat that way today.
Really?
Yeah, they have. Well, what do you think? You got.
Y'all talking like y'all had something to drink.
you got Dennis. They kind of turned around the other way. He got his hands caught in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And where the hell did that come from?
Well, luckily, Dad didn't that we know of. We haven't found any. We haven't found any secret stashes that we're aware of.
No, but
he died too young to get his hand in it. So
But you know, Dennis Hastert and John were good friends.
I know.
They were good friends.
And
well, I don't know anything.
a lot of people found this surprising about him, yeah.
Yeah, they really were.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But anyway, but as you go through life, that's kind of what you're faced with anywhere you decide to land and stay. If you stay long enough, I think you learn more about the land that you should have left. You know. Yeah.
So what are some of your memories as a little boy growing up on the farm? And I remember you going off to the service and how handsome you were. You looked like Elvis Presley back then.
Well, growing up on the farm, they left me on the farm with Dad.
Because you was the baby.
And I was a baby, and I was the only kid that Dad had left that was young enough not to move out. I had to stay. I was too young.
So he couldn't get a week off either.
Huh?
You couldn't get a week off either.
No, hell no, I couldn't get a week off. No. And I had to do the lesser chores, no matter what they were, so that Dad could stay in the field. And then I had to milk the cows, and then I got in the field after the cows were let out down the pasture.
About how many cows would you keep at a time?
Well, at one time we had about 30 cows.
Oh, really?
That's when we were selling milk, whole milk, and they put in the USDA put in I guess a law, you might say, in the buying of the milk that it had to be cooled at the farm to get the bacteria down in the milk before it reached a level that they couldn't sell or market as whole milk. You had to separate the cream off from it and separate it into cream and skim milk. So, but then I don't know about, I guess about 12, 15 cows.
Most of the time?
Yeah.
And you sold the butter, didn't you, or something? Or you sold the cream?
Sold the cream.
The cream.
Separated, but then we separated into skim milk, fed hogs with oats, and made oatmeal for them.
Out of the skim milk and the oats?
Skim milk and ground oats.
Okay.
And the hogs ate the same thing. Cows always smelled a little better than the hogs, I always thought.
Well, yeah, the manure, hog
That's
manure
what I was
stinks.
referencing.
Yeah, hog manure stinks.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think, you were born in 1937, so after the Depression.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't experience the growing up during the Depression like your older brothers and sisters did. Okay.
No, I was a baby.
But then you went and joined the service when you were pretty young.
Yeah, when I turned 17, I had to, when I turned 18, I had to be 18 to join without my parents' signatures.
And so why did you do that? Is that your way of getting off the farm, or?
Yeah, that's right. I got out. And,
what did they do for help?
Well,
when you got out?
So went the little farms in North Dakota. The next door neighbors that had kids that stayed on the farm, they needed more land to produce enough money to live on the farm.
So you'd lease the acreage?
They'd buy or cash rent the little farm that couldn't make it on its own, and that's how they grew those farms in North Dakota. And eventually they were sold to the ones that cash rented it, and now you had the big farm.
Did you ever do what we call farming on the halves, where Like you let the farmer use your land and then they keep half and the owner gets
Oh,
half?
yeah, share. Yeah.
You just call it shared?
Yeah. We were the sharecropper, though. We were the ones that...
You were the owners that
we...
Or you farmed somebody else's?
We were the renter of that land, not the owner.
Okay.
Of the share. And they made different deals, 50%, 20%, 30%, whatever the deal was.
Okay. Okay.
My dad was always a sharecropper. Because back then, if you didn't have a section of land with the equipment that we had to farm it with, you couldn't make the farm pay for itself in a rotating crop situation.
Now, were you on the Witcher farm?
Or I was born on the Witcher farm.
Okay, and then I don't know what
then I went to the Granger farm.
Is that the one that they owned?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's called the Granger farm?
Right.
Okay, I never knew what the name of it was.
Right.
Why was it called Granger?
Because it was owned by the Grangers.
That's a family or the people who...
As a family.
Okay. Because I know there's a Grange organization too, and there's a Grange Hall near there, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the Grangers did. They're farmers too. I think that's all.
But didn't did you ever know Bernd Christian, your grandfather?
No.
Okay.
He died the year that I was born, I think.
Okay. But he had homesteaded, hadn't he?
Well, he had homesteaded, but then he had two families. He had Uncle Harold and Uncle Cliff.
Right.
And Uncle Cliff got the homestead.
Okay. And he lived there a long time, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived there a long time, too.
Right. Now, is Perry's farm, was that connected to what Barrett's was? Or that was more through...
No, Perry.
Through Butch.
No, Perry started in farming when Butch's dad was killed in the tractor accident. And then Butch's sisters and Butch, they farmed, and then Perry came home and got out of the military, and he took over Butch's dad's farming business.
Okay.
And then he added more land to what he was doing. And
now, did Perry actually farm, or did he more own and got other people to do the farming?
Well, he helped farm, but he had the electrical business that he had to keep going too. And he'd hire somebody to do a lot of the work.
Now, what about you? When you went in the service, where did you serve?
Went in the military from Valley City, North Dakota. In 1955, I went to Parks Air Force Base in California for basic training.
Were you in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And I went to Barksdale, Louisiana for tech school. I went to Greenville, South Carolina for TDY because we didn't get our equipment. I was stationed at Ardmore after tech school, Ardmore, Oklahoma. But our equipment didn't come in to Ardmore at the same time I got it out of tech school, so then I had to go TDY.
What's TDY?
Temporary duty.
Okay.
To Greenville, South Carolina, Donaldson Air Force Base, where they trained us further, but we had equipment to work with.
Mm.
Then when our equipment came into Ardmore, then we transferred permanent station to Ardmore. Then I had a bunch of troops that had gone to Wiesbaden, Germany. And I didn't have nothing to do, so I said, well, I think I'll volunteer for Wiesbaden. Well, I volunteered and I had to extend 18 months to have retainability long enough to pull the tour of duty in Wiesbaden. So I signed up for an additional 18 months, and I got down to Orlando, Florida, and they sent me to missile guidance school, and they liked me so much that they converted me to permanent change of station to Orlando instead of pipeline to Wiesbaden, which was not what I really signed the 18 months up for, you know.
They pulled a fast one on you, huh?
Yeah, so the comptroller major out of Ardmore, Oklahoma, he was walking down the street down at Orlando Air Force Base one day, and I saw him, and I said, Major McBride, I need to talk to you. And I told him what had happened. I said, they converted me to PCS, and I said, you know damn well that ain't right. I volunteered down there for 18 months to go to Wiesbaden. He said, well, Moe, he said, you come back after lunch and come back and see me. He showed me where he was living. I said, okay, I did. And he cut me a set of orders where I got out of the military on my normal discharge date, and I was gone.
What, he got you out, or you got to go to Wiesbaden?
No, I got me out on my normal discharge date. I didn't spend an extra hour in the military.
Well, that sounds fair then, finally.
Well, yeah, but if I hadn't run into him, hell, I'd done 18 months.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
good for you.
So anyway, all that worked out.
Oh, good.
Then I got Orlando Air Force Base in December of '59.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to work for Minute Maid Corporation, Martin Marietta Corporation, insurance operation, and I went to work with a group that bought and sold insurance companies. And so we bought a company up in Maryland. And
Is that how you wound up in Baltimore?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
I'm just about running out of memory here, so.
yeah, okay. Well, that's
So after Baltimore, you came to Tennessee, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And here I is,
And there he is still.
Mr. Dillon.
Now, when did you get into computers? Because
Well, we had EAM equipment back when I'm before computers in the military.
what's EAM?
Electronic accounting machine.
Oh,
Punch
right.
card.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That started my career in computers and EAM gear.
Okay. But you seem to have a real knack for that, right?
Well, it worked out good for me. It's been pretty good. I could have done a lot more had I gone to school.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'd spent my time and gotten a degree or two or whatever, but back then, you're lucky to have a job, you know?
Right. Right. Okay, well, thank you very much.